ScreenBlast podcast. We're covering the biggest sci-fi movie of autumn 2023. Did it actually live up to the hype? And honestly, was it as cool as all the trailers made it out to be? We have a lot to say, or maybe not a lot to say. We'll see how long this runs. Guys, of course, I'm Bryan the Baltimorean, joined alongside
Kanan Bisky.
You know, this three-way, we haven't done this three-way camera angle in quite a while. Usually we
I purposely try to switch to it sometimes.
Yeah, I usually, you know me, I like this, but then you're off, but then because you're, I don't know what's up with it. It's like you're centered, but you're not, so it's like...
I can move this way.
Yeah, but then once we go back, then there we go. Now you're middle. Look at that.
But like, switch to my camera, there's a lot more space.
But then if you switch to you, then it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
well, we only made this perspective for my fucking video.
Yes.
Introspective. How are you editing on that, by the way?
It goes out next week. Powerpuff Girls goes out after that. And then the week after, 2 weeks after, the obvious Halloween special.
And I'm gonna hand you. Since you're here, I can hand you the Cowcast fuck. I keep getting sleepy.
Yeah, definitely. Pass it, so that we can. I can just do some sound mods and go from there. But anyway, we did a
live behind the scenes.
We already did a Cowcast catch up. So we don't really need to talk about how our lives are going because we know you guys will know. If you look at the channel about the updates, how our lives are going. So it's not too difficult to understand, but, I mean, Mark's camera's in the middle of a goddamn crisis, clearly. Look at that.
I'm trying to center myself on this perspective.
Oh my god.
It's just weird that I'm so low.
It's getting so much worse. I don't know what's going on. It's like, it is getting, let me switch over to you here so you can just... There you go. All right, not bad here, but then when we...
If only we had AI to fix it.
If only we had AI. In fact, guys, if we only had AI, here we are talking about the big AI movie. The creator. We obviously, from its inception trailer, it's talked about the fact that it is centered around this sort of battle with AI that humans have. AI is a hot topic, but it's handling it very differently. We've seen a lot of movies take AI and just talk about it with sort of the same stroke, essentially. This takes AI in the same way of something to, like, in the realm of, like, District 13, or I mean District 12, I think is the movie.
Chappie!
Talking about Chappie, talking about robots in that format. That's how they're using artificial intelligence. And so, yeah, I'll be honest with you, what in God's green earth is happening to you?
Stop, every time I'm trying to make sure I see the sound bar, and I'm trying to, scroll down, I'm like, please don't acknowledge that I'm doing this. And every time you acknowledge,
because it's it looks like something important is happening, and then it's like, maybe I should, zoom out to make sure things are happening that are accurate. But, as you know, I've been very excited about this movie. This is, if you gave me that trailer and it's like, hey, Bryan, what type of movie is this? Or what type of movie interests you? I love Arrival. I love the idea of Interstellar. I love Inception. I love the sci-fi. I love serious sci-fi is like my realm. I love it. And I love being immersed. If I'm in a theater, I love being immersed in that. There was another great movie. Oblivion was awesome because it's like, whether or not it was an amazing movie, you were then just immersed in this setting of this just the science fiction setting, this dystopian future Earth, and it's cool. And it's like you have these great sci-fi vehicles, these cool futuristic vehicle designs, and that's my favorite type of thing. Edge of Tomorrow. However it's structured in story, I love being able to sit back in a theater, and just be immersed by whatever's happening.
I love a good sci-fi effects flick.
Exactly. Just strap me in for the ride, man.
One, I'm disappointed that that is this. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm disappointed. I'm hearing the story is not good.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, not this. No, I'm not fucking telling crazy.
I was about to say,
what the fuck are we doing?
So I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
What? This movie is about the fucking documentary of a cartoon artist, right, or some shit.
What?
Oh, I see the wrong creator. Fuck. But no. But a movie that looks like that could have been a fun effects flick is I said the name before. It was a space movie, and the trailer was the trailer had the song ground control to Major Tom.
Lightyear.
Not Lightyear.
Lightyear, by the way, I wanted in this realm.
Yeah.
But it kind of fell. But grounded. Well, they used this.
It was a bunch of.
No, they used Starman. Starman, I think, was used.
The Starman was for Lightyear.
For Lightyear.
It was. I forgot the name of it. It was like a sci-fi space movie, and it had like a ton of effects to it.
You're talking about Valerian, right?
Valerian, yeah.
I watched that. I watched it a couple months ago. It was on Prime, I think, and it's literally Hulu, I think. And this is the problem, by the way. This is always the great dilemma. Number one, is it an interesting movie in the end?
Yeah.
And if it is, even if it is a good movie, will it make money?
Yeah.
And the problem with Valerian is that not only was it a boring fucking movie, a boring space of special effects movie, it just didn't make money, so it failed both ways. So yeah, not worth it. By the way, did you see it? You never saw it, right?
I never saw it. I wish.
You literally just said you never saw it.
Yeah, dumbass.
I don't know why I'm leading you.
Fuck you, asshole.
We're back to But dude, could you imagine someone watching the Powerpuff Girls cartoon chat and then go straight to I wonder what their thoughts on our creator. Fuck you, asshole. But no. Yeah.
Well, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, this movie looks good. And I hope it's as good as I imagined it. And then every review came out, and it's like, it's not as good as you imagine it. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in this sci-fi space, sci-fi adventure, sci-fi action, this dystopian future sort of situation, or whatever you're dealing with, it seems like there's only a couple of places where you actually have monetary success.
Yeah. A funny story. I was.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, unrelated story, Brian. Yeah, good point, Brian. Unrelated story. Yeah.
But like,
go ahead, fuckface.
But I was going to see Valerian in theaters, but because of a circumstance situation, my credit card was locked. Fuck. And I couldn't get in. I couldn't pay for the movie tickets. I was like, fuck. I'm not gonna go see this awesome movie. I guess it was fate.
Thanks to AI, you were saved.
Yeah, thanks to AI, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think the problem also was that there were some spots where it was like cheap sci-fi, because it's like, wow, this could be a cool concept, but they didn't think about it. And the best sci-fi movies, obviously, here's the thing, I don't like slow. It depends. I don't mind super slow, but for instance, the Star Trek, the original Star Trek, is a bore fest. I will watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. We both are waiting to see 2001: A Space Odyssey in theaters again when it comes in theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're both all right, we'll wait for that so that because it seems like a spectacle. But if it's too boring, it doesn't hold me. But for instance, something like I had it in my mind, but obviously
I have a good living room TV. I refuse to watch it on there. It needs to be in a theater room. Yeah,
there's obviously, for instance, there's several that I could bring up. I'm trying to think, but for instance, Arrival is a great example. For instance, of this sci-fi ride that is okay, aliens come to Earth. What do they want?
I heard
and you go on this journey, and it's very interesting, right? But I'm trying to think
another good one. Well, I guess not very sci-fi, but
yeah.
I need to see in the theater because it's also hit its 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Gravity, yeah, that's another one. Gravity was Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah.
That was the one where everyone complained that her hair in space wasn't accurate or some dumb shit.
But the movie itself was still good.
Yeah.
Well, I said I wouldn't spoil it for you, but I'll just let you know.
Yeah, no, she's in space. Yeah, it's in space, and she's.
No.
Right?
The Warner Brothers Studio Tour, when they teach you about sound, they use about sound editing. Yeah. They use that scene from Gravity as an example, and it is great how they break it down because they show you what it's like with just the sound effects, what it's like with just the voices, what it's like with just the music, and then they put it all together, and it's so well done. It really made me want to watch the movie. I'll tell you, there was a movie that came out around that time, and that was Oblivion. That was the movie I was originally thinking of. That was Tom Cruise. He led that movie, and it was set in, again, another dystopian Earth movie,
where, you know, a lot of Earth is destroyed. You have this visual of Earth where, like, a lot of the superstructures that we think of, the Empire State Building, I think the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben and other, like, iconic structures are just kind of, they're becoming one with the Earth at this point. It's been so long, and he's like he's like one of few humans that are just monitoring their area of Earth because apparently it's so toxic. And he gets this awesome ship, and it's a great watch. He has, but it gets slow at certain points. But he has, like, the vehicles are interesting to look at. The idea is interesting to look at. Everything about it is like, it's immersive. You sit in that seat and you're in it. And I remember, like, thinking, like, man, this is such an enjoyable ride. I love this, every moment of it. I love the inventiveness. I love the ideas that they bring to the table, but I also love the story that they're trying to tell here. And so, all around, it was a good ride.
Yeah. I have another movie, too. I think you'll love this movie, especially on like, a second viewing. I think you'll love this movie on a second viewing.
It sounds like a joke. But,
like, it's this girl... I forgot the name of it. It's this girl, she's trying to learn her powers, and she has to get this MacGuffin off a ship from an old guy with electricity powers. I think it's, like, the third movie in, like, a trilogy. And, like, she has a friend who's, like, covered in fur, and, like, she's trying to learn how to use her powers to get, like, on the ship, and the ship explodes, and you think that furry guy's dead, but it turns out he's not. In fact, they do that a lot in that movie, where you think they're dead.
I think the guy's friend, the guy's father, like, one of the guy's fathers that doesn't like her, has a flashback scene moment.
Oh, yeah. You'll love it, especially on the second viewing.
But the audience didn't know if it was, like, actually a flashback or not, because obviously they didn't think about it when they edited the movie, because it sucked.
Oh, yeah. Like, dude, I think you'll love that movie.
Mark, let's stop, please.
Especially on the second viewing. Especially when people are trying to tell you it sucks.
I will say, by the way, Star Wars is one of the few areas where it's like, alright, it makes money. Now, obviously, Star Wars financially did not do well when they kept milking it like it was Avengers, but Star Wars, and then the other outlier is James Cameron and Avatar.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, like,
it's usually, if it's attached to a known brand and it's sci-fi, that's the only way sci-fi usually makes money, unless it's a big name actor, and that's how it usually goes.
Well, I bring up Star Wars for a reason, because, like, these type of all these movies we just, like, talked about, this is what I wish from Star Wars. I just want, like, a fun special effects sci-fi flick.
Well, like, one that's thoughtful, though. That's the thing I need.
Yeah.
I need a little more thought, because that's the problem with Star Wars is, lately, is when you think about their theatrics, they don't think about it. They just kind of are, it exists, and they just keep moving. And it doesn't, that's the problem. And that's, that's the biggest problem. So that...
I mean, I can say they probably put thoughts into theatric. It's just bad thoughts.
Well, I mean, like, script doctors and, like, lore masters. Like, people that know, like, what the lineage is. They're just things that, I don't want to make this a Star Wars conversation, but yeah.
We're not. It's just, like, the thing is, if you're not going to give me that, I just expect, like, just give me just, like, a decent sci-fi adventure flick. And that's, that's kind of what Rogue One does, honestly.
So I'm sorry, because you're making a really, really good segue, but I have to break it as a host.
Fuck you!
Because, alright, enough with the F-bombs before we lose any, like, potential future sponsorship.
It was in the first couple minutes, we're good.
Yeah, so, what's interesting is, the Star Trek reboot movies, that a lot of Star Trek fans don't like, I think...
I still need to watch something Star Trek related.
Specifically, did you see the Star Trek 2009, like, the reboot movie?
I haven't watched zero Star Trek at all.
Okay, so
my only reference to Star Trek is that one Futurama episode.
Right. I'm not saying the old stuff. I literally am just saying the reboot, because here's the thing, right?
I know the only Star Trek I watched is Futurama.
I don't give a fuck about any Star Trek except for the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. And funny enough, most Star Trek fans do not like that, but it is a great sci-fi action adventure. Like,
but so does the original.
It's slow. And it's boring, and it's thoughtful, but it's too thoughtful. It doesn't have any, and nothing's interesting. What do you mean the original? What the fuck are you talking about? You haven't seen it. Like, so is the original. I'm like, what am I doing?
I was surprised that He was getting ready to argue that point.
I'm like,
it's like when oh wait, he forgot I mentioned I never seen anything Star Trek related.
Yeah, like what is he? All right, moving on.
You're just ready to fucking counter.
All right.
So like
Mark was saying, the creator. So yeah, Rogue One was arguably, and I'm going to just cut back to this eventually, but Rogue One was arguably the movie that people thought was thanks to AI. Rogue One was was one of the few movies in the Star Wars Disney lineup that people thought, wow, this is actually, we need more of this. I like how grounded this is. It was a great adventure with characters that we had first met for the first time, and even though there were issues in production, it was reported many times that Disney changed the way that this movie was going to work out. Gareth Edwards had fought for his own cut, kind of like the Snyder cut, just so that people could see his original vision. This was the movie that people really clung to and thought, we deserve more of this in Star Wars. This is what we want in a sci-fi movie. And so they get the guy that does. So imagine, like a new property comes around. It's like, who do we get? What would a big budget studio like Disney, who would they trust potentially to forward the ship and make a good sci-fi film that audiences would go and see? The guy that crafted one of the fan favorites over the past few years. And that's where we get, of course, the creator. I wouldn't go into movie detail here. Now, movie detail-wise, this was released just a couple weeks ago. This, by the time this releases, this will be 1 week ago. The genre, obviously, like I said, sci-fi action adventure. The interesting thing here was it was actually written by Gareth Edwards. He has not had a writing credit since 2010, but he did direct Rogue One. Damn! He did direct Rogue One and that 2014 Godzilla movie. That really brought that character back into acclaim. The screenplay was by Gareth Edwards and Chris Weitz, who helped him. He was one on Rogue One. Weitz was one of 4 screenplay writers for Rogue One. But here's a little unfortunate thing. Chris Weitz also wrote the screenplay for Disney's Pinocchio remake. So not a good, you want something that kind of gives you a yucky taste in your mouth.
Literally, every time I think of that movie Pinocchio, it's always goes to that one image everyone keeps reposting of Pinocchio looking at horse shit. Why they fucking add that in the movie? They should have known everyone was going to use that against them.
Clearly, Chris Weitz didn't know that was not a smart idea. All right, he didn't.
Literally, everyone used that picture.
He didn't know. Don't blame him. He didn't know. All right, he was doing his best.
And Pinocchio's looking in awe at the horse shit too. It's like a perfect sum up of that movie.
Yeah, he was about to lick it or something. Some freak. Yeah, just think. Man. So. Also, Hans Zimmer, of course, legend when you talk about the world of, scores, like just these strong orchestral scores. He's in this zone, man. This is him, 100%.
I want to hire him to score an entire day of my life.
Well, then you probably get a score kind of like this one. Now, moving on, I do want to mention a couple.
Do any scores our podcast? Just one episode of our podcast.
Probably would be like this one. So I do want to mention key pieces of the cast. Of course, our main character was played by John David Washington, who it's cool to see that he's leaning a lot into sci-fi. He's taking on a lot of sci-fi roles. He did Tenet, of course, which was not beloved, but it's one of those things where, it's hey, he's not only working with big names, Gareth Edwards, Chris Nolan, he's working with big names, and that's cool, but he's also in the sci-fi realm, and I like that. I like that I can attach a name. Hey, here's a cool guy.
I'm the biggest fan of Tenet as a whole, but that movie had some fucking amazing ass set pieces.
Beautiful set pieces.
The set pieces fucking work their magic.
Yes. Madeline Una Voiles is the young girl, AI girl, Alfie. Gemma Chan is the wife that we see at many points of the movie. Allison Ganey, or Jenny, is Colonel Howell. She is one of the remaining. So she's a part of the U.S. military, and we'll get into spoilers in a second here. Ken Watanabe is Heron, who is one of the surviving AI. He's in one of these surviving AI areas, essentially. So overall. essentially, if you wanted to know what this movie is in the long run, this essentially is it's set in a dystopian future. Humans attempt to conquer the last remnants of artificial intelligence. If you really wanted to boil it down to this, it's just that. A segment of humanity attempts to conquer the last remnants of artificial intelligence. I will say, again, we're going to go into spoilers, Mark. I want to start with ScreenBlast standouts.
This is a new concept to me.
The positives.
Oh, this is a new concept to me.
Yeah, so we did this during Blue Beetle, but I want to make this the norm. So we talked about positive, we talked about negatives later. Positives, ScreenBlast standouts. I'm going to be honest, I do have some to say about both sides. What were some of the positives that you found? I'll talk back and forth with you, but what'd you think?
Nothing! You're not just kidding.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing! No, get out!
When I think of this movie, I think of it being bad, and that's all I think.
I think of... You ever heard of shit? Something like that.
But yeah, what do you think of this movie?
Okay, so I like the vibe of it. Feels like an old sci-fi anime, very similar to Ghost in the Shell, not that shitty Scarlett Johansson remake. The anime itself, it's very anime inspired.
Yes,
it's sci-fi anime inspired, and I just love the art direction of this movie. Also love when I heard it's about AI, I thought from the trailer it's AI, it's a war against humans and AI is attacking, and it's oh no. The AI are the people in danger. It's man. That's the problem here. And and it does work with that aspect. This movie has amazing set design and a really well made world building. These
yes.
AI people are weird. Are weird to look at, weird in design and weird to look at.
Absolutely.
But it's not too long to where you keep watching when you keep watching a movie, it's just you forget that they're weird. They just the world. The world is built so well that they just feel natural to the world. And when you see new designs of them later on in the movie, it just feels natural. It's these are the people here.
Yeah. I want to bounce off you on that. I absolutely love that. Not that you said so many things. Yeah, Mark, I love that. Yeah, no, but 100%. This is straight out of Akira or you said, Ghost in the Shell. This vibe of this dystopian future, especially when you get to the major cities in the AI realm.
Especially the way that the chapters work too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like an anime episode every time.
One thing that I found that I love, and I segmented it because there's so much I love. I love this. I do in segments of the story. I love that we're just in this slice of life of Joshua, and obviously it's a non-linear story at times. It flows back and forth, but I do love that.
It feels pretty linear.
It's linear, and then you get just flashbacks. Basically, it's not non-linear, but you just get flashbacks that are multi-minute, essentially. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, I love that. We essentially just get brief snippets of this dystopian Earth for different people. So, for instance, so he's at the LA Ground Zero, and he's working on taking junk out, for the remaining living robots or whatever, and he's working with that human woman, right? And she sees that this robot is alive, and she treats it like a human. She's it's alive, it's. But the way her reaction, it's as if it's a human. It's very interesting. There's an interesting just thing, right? She loses it. We spend a brief time with Joshua's former friend who lives in New Asia with that AI robotic partner, that woman that he has. And it's kind of this Neo-Tokyo look, this very heavy inspiration Neo-Tokyo look. We see there's a sweatshop that's building AI characters, and that's just interesting. That much is told to you visually. Toward the end of the film, for instance, we get that American motorcade, because of course, what is it? She's getting taken to somewhere else, and then Joseph, the main character, gets Alfie out or whatever, but we get that cool shot of the motorcade, and it's just like, it's not a long time, but you see the type of vehicles where it's like the front of the vehicle is like designed in this interesting way where the tires are like out, but the rest of the vehicle is sort of hollow in the front, and then you get this weird design for the vehicle, so it's just a different look. We spend time with a few of those surviving pockets with AI robots, or essentially those surviving pockets in New Asia where they're working with AI, right? And they treat AI like brethren, so they protect the humans. There's no problems there, and it's just a very cool look. But there's so many settings that you get to see in this world. You're not set. It's not like here's a whole movie in just one setting. It's like here, look at this, look at this, look at this. I love being immersed in a world like this. It's amazing.
Yeah. In that case, we should talk about this movie has like the best introduction like it could have.
Holy shit!
That's a great introduction to this world. Like it's like
fuck, man.
I was not expecting that because we were talking about like Asteroid fucking City. Was it that Wes Anderson fucking movie?
Asteroid City?
Is there called Asteroid City?
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
That came out this year.
Yeah. Asteroid City had like an old timey like opening to it, and like this movie did the same thing. I love that like old timey opening. Cause even Nope does the same thing too. Nope does the same thing too. I love this back in time like opening.
AI.
Yeah. And like it builds the world so well. Like you're just like instantly in.
Yeah, it's a very quick way to see like, okay, so
like old designs.
We want to show you that our version of Earth is progressing rather quickly into this AI evolution. You know what I mean? And and then we get that. It's like that.
It goes from like
the
an introduction
is so like like you said, it's a. I love the introduction of here's how it's helping,
and it turned into a news documentary.
Yes, it's a fast progression, but it's enough to give you enough immersion as to what's happening at that time.
Because like from the trailers.
By the way, have you seen anything Animatrix related?
I still need to watch that movie.
Animatrix is a collection of animated shorts from the Matrix lineup. It tells the story of what happens. Some of these shorts tell the story of what happened during the fall of humanity. And I'm not saying that this was super stolen from that either. But there's some of this where it's like, it's very like, I feel like I'm looking at a live action, like there's two animated shorts, and they're long length actually, like 15 minutes long, but they're called, I believe, the the Robot Renaissance or something Renaissance. And it's like, you get the progression of humans getting arrogant with AI and treating them like trash, and the AI slowly starting to feel like, all right, we don't like this. But then you realize, once we get the plot point of, oh, that's not what AI actually feel in this actual movie, it's like, okay, it's not actually what, because the Matrix approaches AI, robots and AI like they're going to get smart and they don't care about you, versus this movie, which still treats it like, okay, AI still cares about humanity, and they treat humanity with like, they're just existing. They can coexist, and they don't ever really push the button.
I'm glad the way this movie starts, because when I saw the trailer of this movie, I'm like, okay, this looks like a busy sci-fi world. This is probably gonna have like a big like story or exposition dump in the beginning, or like a tragic opening, and you sort of have to figure out the world, the world as the tragic story goes. But it's like, no, you get the fun introduction, and then it eases into the tragic story. Well, like when you're in around the time you're already hooked. So like I thought, like, okay, because usually some sci-fi stuff or stories in general, they'll give you a tragic story before you're hooked. Yeah. And it's like, well, I mean, sometimes a tragic story will hook you, but like sometimes it's like you want to get to know the world first, and like it's better that way.
Yeah. I think we get introduced to this situation with John David Washington, Joseph, and the partner that he finds affection in, and then marries, and we learn obviously rather quickly that he is a double agent, he is a spy for American Intel, and essentially gets them killed in the process, gets the entire community that he's lived with and worked with killed just by his mere existence, and it is just a shitty situation, but yeah, I before we go, I do want to talk though about.
Before we go,
I'm sorry. We're not done. We're not done yet.
I haven't talked that much about it.
I still have a lot. No, I still have a lot of good stuff to talk about. I just wanted to. I was trying to find a way to transition because I wanted to still talk about some of this cool tech. Like there's, again, like we talked about before, technology and futuristic ideas that are just that have logic behind it. Like you can revive someone in this world. You can revive someone, but it's not like, oh, they're like Jesus revived. It's just like if they have the technology in the back, if they've been have some technology and they're have this thing that you can connect to their brain to, you can utilize the memories, potentially access their soul in a way, pull it out.
The science makes sense
it's such a but I've never seen it that way. It's always like for instance like Star Trek Into Darkness. Bullshit way that Captain Kirk survives. Like I think it's like he uses some stupid like fake blood bullshit, some fake blood bullshit, and that saves him. Right? This doesn't do that. This actually has like so much logic, and it comes in handy because
they think about the their sci-fi world.
It's crazy that
sci-fi science. I mean, yeah.
Just that idea alone, like. All right, we're going to consider how you can revive someone. And I love the fact that it's like, all right, you have 30 seconds. And, like, it's not like 30 seconds and they're just straight back. Like, we saw that, what was that movie that was like a joke where it's like, all right, you can revive someone. Dungeons & Dragons did this. And it was obviously comedic. And it works in a comedic sense in Dungeons & Dragons where it's like you can bring someone back from the dead from a war.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And, like, I love that. But in this, it's, like, actually serious. So I love the fact that it's 30 seconds and he's like, all right, 30 seconds. What do you, all right. And he's like losing it. He's like, I need to talk. I want to talk to someone. I want to love like someone that I love. I want to genuinely say something. You know what I mean? It's like genuine. And it's like, damn. And that's it. And I love that it obviously. Again,
and it's realistic because it's just like it's their real consciousness. Like,
it's like crazy.
It's like you have been
crazy.
Brought back from the dead. Like, what the fuck just happened?
It's crazy.
Like, you're gonna die. You're not actually like. Imagine you wake up and somebody tells you this is not the real you. You're actually gonna die.
So they didn't even say it. They have the character look at his own dead body, and he realizes because remember he looks like, and then he looks to his left and he sees himself. He's like, oh shit, I gotta talk to my wife, and that's even more amazing of a concept. Like to me than like just saying like, all right, you're gonna tell him. No, he's gonna figure it out. And it's like fucking fanatic.
You never think about like being revived in that way. It's like in a funny way. It's like that episode Solar Opposites we watched, the first episode of Solar Opposites, where the guy kept bringing them back from the dead, and he's like he's just been brought back from like literally nothing, and he's confused about the meaning of life.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good. Oh my god, that's just some super existential shit right there. That's why I just kind of keep it moving with the podcast and don't think about it, because Jesus Christ, that'll get you.
It is scary. Just imagine you wake up from your sleep.
Yes.
And then, like, the people around you are like, it's okay, you look to your left, your dead body's over there, and it's like, oh I'm fucking dead?
Right.
Fuck!
Yeah, but
Can I say some last words?
Right, and it's like, no, we need to know where this went. And again, I love everything about it. I think it's just well executed. I want to talk, also, of course, because we're talking about spoilers, so we can bounce around. End of the movie, he gets to talk to his wife. I think it was convenient. I'll talk about the plot later, but I think that's very convenient that he gets to see his wife in the end and like she's just there.
Okay,
but it's like, but we'll talk about the bad stuff later. But I just want to say,
no, it's not bad.
It's just like
it's
just very convenient.
It's
like,
not.
You get to.
We're in spoilers because like it's not because like. I was so scared that like they were going to go for a chappy ending, where because like we're talking about this consciousness being transferred and stuff because because like by the ending they make it evident like the name character is Joshua, the main.
Yes.
Yeah, Joshua is not going to survive this, like, getting out of the spaceship, so he's going to die. So it's like, oh fuck. So like I didn't know where the fucking the consciousness of like what was the lady, the wife was. I thought she was like, I thought they put her in like an escape hatch or somewhere. So I was like, okay, she's down on the ground, so like we still need to have her meet with Joshua, because I know the movie wants to do that.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, they're gonna do a Chappie ending where like it's his consciousness has been brought back to life, and they have their happy ever after. But then like it brings up more questions where it's like, that's not actually him though. He's dead. Right. That's just an artificial version of him. Like I never watched Chappie. I just I watch like Chappie through like reviews and like CinemaSins and stuff. And like I'd still. I'm never gonna watch it because I just like I hate that. I hate the ending that like did that like even though I don't care about the movie, I didn't really watch the movie.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of that ending where like the guy is brought back through a robot, but it's like he's not brought back to life. That's a copy of his fucking consciousness.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just think, again, I think it's rather, it's good, but obviously. Again, I think he's just given up on the fact we've already seen that she's dead.
Yeah.
And so you get the consciousness, and so he gets to basically see her through an AI variant one last time, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, because he's gonna die himself anyway.
He's gonna die himself. I was curious because it's like very like, again, it's convenient also that her memory lasts for God knows now how many minutes that was, because usually it seems like that memory pool is something that lasts only like for a short period of time, but by the time he's in that field with her, it feels like it's been many minutes that have passed, as the ship is going down. But again, it's just.
I think her name's Mia.
It was in here earlier. It was
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah, Maya. Yeah, because like the thing about Joshua, if his consciousness was put in the robot. You'd feel some type of way because you've been following this character. This is the character you care about. Maya, I didn't mind her consciousness within a row because we haven't been following that character. We just assumed she was dead in the beginning, and she's sort of like, and her role is the goal. It's just a goal our main character's trying to get to.
Yes. I do want to. That does bring me to Nomad here, and I think what's beautiful is obviously you see this giant thing and. Number one, again, this is something where it's straight out of a video game. It's straight out of an anime. It's straight out of like
I know what
sci-fi.
You said Nomad, and like every time I hear Nomad, I keep thinking of the second Nomad, which is like it's a portable Genesis.
That's funny. Yeah, but I do love. Again, they thought about this. Like they thought about this really like long and hard because it's like, all right, it's called Nomad. It's Nomad, but it's what's what I'm looking for. It's like it's got an acronym that's totally like true government. Like it's like something North American something air defense. Like it's so fucking like it's a bland name, but it's a cool acronym. Bad name, which is government.
Nickelodeon on
methamphetamine.
Nickelodeon on meth.
Eating dick. Yeah. All right, but I love how threatening the scanning is. The idea of the scanner is awesome. Like it's like a printer scanner, but it's like, or like it's like when you used to scan things at like a shopping store. It's like someone thought about it. Like what if the grocery store scanner was like?
Dude, this looks like something straight out of fucking Halo. If you told me this is a screenshot for the new Halo game, I would believe you. If you told either from something Bungie. If this was like, if you told me this,
or even like Killzone, man.
Oh yeah, if you told me if you showed me this and it's like this is a screenshot from the new Destiny DLC, I'd be like, oh shit, that game looks cool.
Dude, just again, like it's like there's like a special moment in like I'd say about 20-30 minutes, take 20 minutes in where the U.S. militia that Joshua's joining in with, he knows the way, right? And so they start the mission, and what I love is like once starting their mission, like the team, they look up at Nomad as if it's like their guardian. Like you get that sense immediately through like just all right. What if like it's just a good visual cue?
Yeah.
Like to them, this is a guardian. To everyone else, it's this super evil thing, and it's so interesting.
It's an evil god of destruction.
Exactly. I love this design.
This movie is good at like presenting like creative sci-fi gadgetry, and that's why I look for every any good sci-fi movie. Like, give me some creative like architecture, give me some creative gravity. And it's like like we said, like not to get on a Star Wars tangent, but like that's what like the main Star Wars movies are missing too. Sometimes it's like we're just seeing some old shit. We're not seeing some like new Star Wars gadgetry or interesting sci-fi shit. It's what we look forward to sci-fi. And it's like one of the coolest things I saw in this movie was like it's definitely inspired by a video game, because it has to be, where like I forgot, it was either this robot or the ship itself. It was doing a missile launch, and it had these like markers on the bottom of people, and it was following them around. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And it looked like video games.
Again, it was like
it looked like video game cursors under them. Because it was like the way it was targeting them. And I was like, that is so cool looking to see in a live action.
In a live action. That's like that was the one where the robot that was protecting the humans got destroyed, right? Because underneath him, he was getting targeted too. Yeah.
Yeah, the robot was trying to tell the kids like dunk for cover or something.
And by the way, again, I love that too. Like it's like it's not just, and maybe this was to its detriment, like, it's hard to make a movie, it's hard to release a movie right after a writer's strike where AI is the villain.
Oh, yeah.
Where AI is not necessarily evil. Like, that's gotta, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like a weird juxtaposition.
I don't know, maybe like everyone in the writer's strike after they see this movie is like, wow, AI is good.
We should give them everything.
Yeah, maybe we don't need that raise. And they like start hugging like fucking Bob Iger and like you
were right.
We don't need that much money. AI is good.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ,
terrible. Dude. Again, but like that cursor shit is like. That's the shit you see in a fucking Sonic game when an Eggman boss like tries to attack you.
Right.
And it's just like seeing it here, and it's like, okay, that's cool. Absolutely. That's like some good inspiration right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Another one of my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. Keep throwing that.
Favorite gadgetry. The fucking suicide robot.
The tank robot.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just like a big tank, and you just run towards like pleasure serving you. Boom, 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 and it's like a fucking bot. Like it's threatening because you can't
do anything. You cannot do anything.
We had suicide robots before, even in Star Wars.
Yes.
But like this one is like threatening because it's a fucking square ass tank running at full force. You can't fucking stop. You don't want to get in the way of that shit.
You can't.
It's either gonna explode on you. Or you can't damage it. It's gonna run you the fuck over, or explode on you.
Yes.
And it's just like it's so fucking scary. If I saw that thing running in my towards my, I'd fucking scream.
I was gonna say you give up. I mean, you scream. I mean, yeah. That's all you can.
I would try to run. Well, the point is, I'd be scared for my fucking life. I would diarrhea my fucking pants on the spot, man.
Dude, I think relating to that scene, I think Alfie is pretty good. Actually, great. I think Alfie's cool in this movie. I wrote later on, and this is from part of the break points, but I'll get more into that later. But this is very much literally like just Logan and X-23.
Oh yeah.
Or obviously Last of Us kind of thing, as we know. But. It's still like, what happened?
What?
Oh, I thought I heard something. But it's very much like, it's learning. Like, it's just like, I don't hate her at all. I think that,
But she's just
she's an AI thing. But like, whether it's an AI, it's like, you've seen this, it's familiar. But as she's learning and adapting to the situation, I'm gonna be honest, I got emotional at certain points because it's like, where is it? Like where something happens toward the end when they have to pull the plug. I'm like, damn, I don't know why that got to me.
I don't hate her, but like,
I don't know why that got to me, but like there's certainly several moments in this movie that they use her, and it is well executed.
Because she starts off with
like I just want to say I love the fact that like number one, they revealed this in the trailer, unfortunately. I love the fact that, like, obviously she's locked away. She's this most important piece because if they train her, obviously she will become stronger than anything. But I love that she's being trained. She doesn't know it yet, but she's being trained through animated propaganda, which is one of the critical ways that in which youth are trained to.
That's how fucking North Korea was trained.
Well, that's how we were trained. That's
right.
That's what they had for World War II. That's what That's what so many places do. But I love that's how they do it. Like if you look on the screen, like that Nomad is getting destroyed. It's being attacked. You know. I love that, like, you know, like you said, like you brought up the scene where you have the tank grenade, the tank robot, and like I love just the look of it, just the visual look of it, like she's just there, she holds it still, like holds it in place, and it just kind of like understands its job, like it understand, like it just, she has that ability, and I love that, like I just love that. I love that, like I love the moment when the commander, the surviving commander, I believe she's the commander, Colonel, I think. Colonel, actually. They finally meet in that temple where the mom dies, and she's so ready, but she doesn't know. Like, she has a grenade on her or something, and, like, Alfie, like, stops it from exploding.
I love it.
But because they're so stupid, and so...
It's such a deserving death.
It's such a deserving death, because they were so ready to kill without understanding. And it's so good. And it's just like, boom, and she blows up. And, again, I love, like, just the little moments they have with her where, like, I brought up already earlier, but I do want to, what is it, Joshua's friend who has, she looks like an Asian woman, but she's actually just an AI with an Asian woman's face on it, right? And, you know, but they love each other, or he loves her.
She did not deserve that.
But I love, like, how nice and warm you felt in that moment. Like, it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel... Her acting, and obviously it's an AI character, but obviously there's a real actor behind this. Her acting made it feel like warm and welcoming, and nothing felt
that part made me upset. I was like, she didn't deserve that.
She didn't. She just blew up, and you know, it's like shit went left. But you know, I love I think Alfie is obviously the key to this movie, but like, you know, it's like
I think
she is. We've said many times about child, like, there's so many child actors that get again, ever since Star Wars. This character is probably around the same age that Jake Lloyd was in Star Wars Episode 1. Here's a character. Here's an actress. Great job. Just great job. Didn't feel like she was reading lines. Felt genuine. Just curious. And react, like, you know... Am I going to have, like, just great delivery. Yeah. Just like, fuck, man. You, like, punch me in the heart with some of these dialogue moments.
I say Joshua's the heart of the movie. It's like, because the, Alfie is, like, she's, like, a plot device that, like, that starts off with
she's a plot device that is human. Or she's a plot device that is a robot. So
she starts off with no character, but, like, it's more the dynamic between her and Joshua where, like, she starts to grow a little bit more character.
Yes.
Especially more towards the end. So, like, it was more of... I cared for more of, like, a... Before we got to the end, I cared for more of, like, the relationship between her and... between Alfie and Joshua, more than I cared about Alfie.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think, as much as I do think, like, again, I think, again, John David Washington's a great actor. We talked about Jonathan Majors earlier in the year with the delivery as Kang in Ant-Man, which Ant-Man is trash, but I think his delivery was great because he could value that acting in that moment. Obviously, in Creed 3, same thing, right? Like, he's a strong actor.
Loki.
And in Loki, of course. But, like, but I haven't seen it yet. But obviously in the first season did a great job as well. But he's a great actor, right? And this another great portrayal here from John David Washington, where he's not just a stoic character. Like he's like, there's so many moments where he's just like in different emotional states, and you can tell at times when he's on the edge. You can tell at times when obviously he's like, I just want to give up and I'm just done with this and fuck, man. Like, it's not just the casual like, I don't care. It's like there's more to it in his expressions and the way he's acting, and
he's lost everything.
He's lost everything,
and like that's why
that's one of the things that it's like you know that obviously again. Like in terms of just things that again like breakpoints, like again, why would the military choose a guy that is on the edge? I don't like on this much of an edge. That I don't know, but they choose him, and yeah. But I will say though, I do. There's another part of this where, like, of course, at some point it's told to us that we're informed by one of the leaders of the surviving pockets of like those that support and work with AI, and that the nuclear strike was caused by a human coding error. And I think that's a very interesting thing. I just wish that we were able to sit on that a little more. Like, we're not here to discover why the nuke was dropped. We're not. That's not the goal here. But it's a part of the movie. It's like, why is this happening? Why are we here? And it's just one of those things where these two forces are fighting with each other over the fact that this happened, and it's just dropped at some point in time. Like, yeah, this happened because of a human coding error, but you can't really tell if that's truth or fiction because the guy that's telling you this, it's like,
he did.
Is this what AI told? Like, by the end of the movie, it's like, yeah, AI's not really as evil as it's presented, and so you're left to think like maybe it was human coding, maybe it wasn't even AI at all, and I will say, like, I'm very curious if this is like if this is an allegory for the Vietnam War, because I believe the Vietnam War was started with an inaccurately. I just wrote it down in notes here. The Vietnam War, I believe, was started with an inaccurately reported attack that puts Americans in combat in Southeast Asia, and then you have a soldier that is mentally scarred after seeing and being a part of brutal attacks on communities that he was claiming to help and a person that he loved. And there were many times where Vietnamese were just brutally attacked, raped, murdered in that war. He's battle scarred from the wounds of war after chasing a ghost, someone who may already be dead. And then you have the militia that encounters heavy casualties, and you have a remaining American. There's Americans that stayed behind after Vietnam, and they found love with locals, right? And it's like, here's the guy, and we learn later, it's like the guy tells him, like, his partner, Joshua's friend, he's like, hey, don't fall in love with the locals or whatever. And it's like, here he is, he's still there, and he's falling in love, and he's in love with a local AI, right? It's just like, I wonder if there's seeds of that, because the location of New Asia is literally Vietnam. And there's a lot of pieces here that are very okay. And of course, some of the best sci-fi is based around factual information or just history that actually happened. But it is an interesting thing to think about.
I don't play the mini Call of Duty, so I don't.
This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't even. I know you're just. I know you're trying to say I don't know much about history, but legit though, it's very interesting that is this an allegory at points for the Vietnam War and how those were treated and how those that came back, veterans.
The way you described it, I'm convinced that it could be,
because parts of it aren't.
I don't know Vietnam history that well, because
I
know the meme. I know the meme of Vietnam flashbacks,
and I would think, of course, it's just very interesting. Yeah. It's just very interesting, especially the fact that it was if it is true that the AI is there's it was reported later. Yeah, the thing that's kicked off the Vietnam War was actually false. It's not real. It was not real at all. It was falsely reported. Here we have a nuke that was fired on Los Angeles. That was a human coding error, but continues to be said is an AI. I'm just curious. That's all. Again, I do also find it interesting that America is the enemy. It's just there's really bold decisions that this movie takes that you probably wouldn't take if you wanted to make money in America.
It turns out the enemy's man.
Making that, yes, but it's man, but it's also America in general, because America is the one that's going after, you know what I mean? They're the ones that are boots on the ground, destroying everything. Anyone that's supporting AI.
What's the Japanese doing? They got giant AI mechs.
I don't know what the map looked like, but it's funny how, of course, you can't involve China in anything. So China's not New Asia.
They
China's
suck.
just a random. It's like China's just a random part of the map that has nothing on it. I don't know about Japan, but I know that China has nothing on it. So
they probably got like mechs over there. If they like try to find, if somebody try to get to Japan, you can just bring back a mech in this and like just fucking like crush the Nomad with their hands, and the movie will be over. So
That's it.
All I have to do is get to
Japan.
Japan.
Need the Evo 1 from Evangelion.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, last thing is just
or fucking Jaeger from Pacific Rim.
Oh my god. Yeah, man, I just think special effects are fantastic. There's a couple shots as well.
It was surprisingly made on the cheap.
$80 million budget.
I'm sad to hear that like this could have easily made money back, but it's like it's not doing so.
If it had a tenth of what Barbie made, it would make its budget back. 1/10 of what Barbie made. 10% of what Barbie made, it would have made its budget back. If it was like, I believe, an eighth of what Oppenheimer made, which was an R-rated movie, it would make its budget back. This is not an expensive movie. This is less expensive than Across the Spider-Verse. This is less expensive than Into the Spider-Verse. This is less expensive than Elemental by $110 million. This is less expensive than The Little Mermaid, which looked fucking terrible at times. This was less expensive than so many movies this year. And it's very impressive that they did this. And apparently
that new Paw Patrol movie.
And again, the key, and we'll talk about the financials later, but like the key was that this movie, they planned everything out. There was no real need for reshoots, reproduction of CGI. They just knew what they were going to do, filmed it, edited it, and guess what? That keeps costs down. So, and it's not super advanced tech. You're not going so far as like Avatar 2, where you're waiting for the technology to reach what you're trying to do here.
I heard some of these being shot in an inexpensive camera.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, but I do want to give it. I do want to say, like, again, the special effects, they are fantastic. There's a cool scene, obviously, toward the end of the movie where they hijack that ship, and it's like it's flying toward the moon, and you get this really close-up shot on the moon that's just visually beautiful. And then it flies. You remember that? Where and then it flies away from that.
Oh yeah.
You're just beautiful, and then throughout the movie, just beautiful poster shots.
The set design is great.
Design is, and Matt, you are in that place. You are not in present day Earth. You are in this time period.
It's funny that
you don't see it.
It's funny that like a lot of this movie takes place in Los Angeles.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. Only like 5% of the movie.
This is Los Angeles. What's funny was I was in Los Angeles when I see this movie. Yeah. And I had to go to LAX after I saw it too.
So you had to take a plane.
Yeah.
After, just like the guy. Yeah, most of this was in that new Asia sect.
I saw this in a regular theater showing. I wish I saw this in either IMAX or Dolby. I couldn't because I was like stretched for time. I was even cutting it close to like my fucking flight back home.
Bold of you.
And I was like, I was estimating time before I got into this movie. Like, I can make it, but it'll be clutch. And what do you know? It was clutch. I ain't doing that again. But I
understand. Yeah. For this, I think it was worth it. Let's get to the break points. Just the things that we might have...
Now we're missing my flight! Fuck that!
Jesus. But
I want to be stuck in Los Angeles. Nothing to do there except Disney World.
But yeah, so yeah, the ScreenBlast break points. I'll start off, again. Not again. I keep saying again as if we said it, but we didn't. This movie overall feels a little too big. This idea, the story, feels a little too big for its runtime. It's like they're going here to here to here, and they want to do so much. They want to tell this story, and they want to show so much, but it's like, if this was more refined, it feels like this would be much more of a conceted story. But there's so many things happening.
It is episodic, the way the movie is structured, so it just could have just worked as like a streaming show.
Yeah. And it's probably I wonder how much money it would have made in streaming, but like it definitely would have probably blown the fuck up if it was like a 4-episode limited series. Well, just imagine a 4-episode limited series from Disney Plus, the creator, and it's like, holy shit, this is amazing. Look at how visually
Disney Plus is another territory. It's gonna go to Hulu.
Right. Well, I think Disney would definitely put it on Plus just to boost their this
fucking
is a
not established IP. Not if it's not an established IPs, they throw that shit to Hulu.
Fair,
because that's a fucking business.
Wherever it is, it would
because there's shit.
Yeah. Either way, all I'm saying is the standards for streaming are so lower compared to up here in theatrical. But you know, again, I think there's a lot of this movie where it's just like you're taking basically you're taking an item from A to B, but instead of an item, it's an AI child with great power and a lot of conveniences. Like you look at, like, for instance, like there's the vehicle checkpoint scene, and like that just goes away conveniently. And again, these are fun to me. Like
it's very Baby Yoda.
Yes, and then there's all of the end where they're getting to the flight, and they get on the flight and everything works and everything's fine, and they get to the space station, the Nomad. It's like, no, that would get blown out of the sky. I don't believe that for 1 second. I just, I just think like BIOS, like, I don't think it's it's not terrible, but it's like, okay, like again,
there's no way for the audience to measure her power, because like we do get like it is mentioned that like it's constantly
evolving.
It's constantly evolving, but like there's no indication for the audience of how it's evolving. Yes. It's just evolving when it's convenient for the plot.
And if she like says a little more, then it's like, oh, maybe
sooner or later she'll be able to control like fucking everything from anywhere.
Or she'll be able to order Taco Bell from across the world. Yeah.
And it's like, we don't know how far her power's gotten. Again, there's no indicator. It's just like, when it's convenient, it's like, oh, now she can control this giant thing. How convenient. Oh, now she can control this giant thing. Oh, there's a giant thing heading towards, like, the city. Okay, nope, she's evolved enough to control it now. We're good. Yeah,
and I think, like, again, like I said before, this is like shades of Logan, but it's not as refined as Logan. Logan's such a specific character piece instead of it being... And there's like a lot of pieces that are similar, right? Like, again, here... Well, I wrote this down. Everywhere Joshua goes, death follows. Almost everyone just dies. Right? And then the character that he cares about most, he ends up killing. Professor X gets killed by a guy that looks just like Logan.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. The girl learns quickly. Now, I think it was better executed in Logan because, again, you're not dealing with power just going from here to here. And no, it's just that she's like adapting with the real world outside of being in a lab. She goes from quiet to full of language, right? Like, same thing with X-23. But I think it's done better with X-23. Her kind of father sacrifices himself so she and others like her may live. Literally happens at the end of Logan. Happens here with Joshua, right? Like, I'm not just saying, like, I'm not saying it's a copy. I'm saying literally, like, if you're looking for a better version of what this story is trying to tell, Logan does it fucking flawlessly.
Yeah.
And it's also a dystopian future movie. Like, and it also has interesting things to say in its world. This movie...
It's also a world of Carol where we could spend more time with it.
I love the immersion in this movie. I love it. I fucking love it. But, Christ, man. Like, there's too much... There's, like, so much... Like, I want to spend so much more time in this world, but there's too much to tell. Again, like, I'm just gonna get it out of the way because I love this movie, but I have things to say, Do you have one, Mark?
What I don't like?
Yeah.
Shit.
If you don't, then I understand. Like,
I don't have... it's not a perfect movie, but, like...
It's not terrible either. By the way, all of these things I'm saying, it's not terrible. I'm not saying it's an awful movie.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, these are things that, like... Again, when I came out of the movie, I'm going to be honest with you, it was going to be my number 2 movie of the year. I was like, ooh, this movie, suddenly, my number 2 right behind Across. And a Spider-Verse. So, right there. But after, like, once I was writing down my notes, I was like, okay. And, like, it was, like, 24 hours later. I was like, okay. 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 Familiar. All right. And, like, just a couple of things. And it's, like, it didn't drop out of my top 10. It's probably around 5 right now. But it's just that natural recency bias changes my
I'm not sure if it was in my top 5, but, like, it's definitely could make it to my top 10, but I'm not sure it's in my top 5. I like, in terms of, like, is it better than anything I've seen this year?
The ideas are. That's the thing. The ideas, I think, are, but...
I still have to think about that.
Yeah.
Because, like, this movie wasn't, like, anything that wowed me, but, like, it was an enjoyable time. and that's kind of just like what I got out of it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's in an I mean, I'm just gonna get out the score. Like, it's. I don't mean this in a negative sense.
Oh, no,
it just,
I have
like
stuff
what the
about
score I'm
that,
about to give it to. I mean, it's a negative sense, but like, it is pretty solid for what it gave me, and it's.
Oh, the score. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the music.
Oh yeah, no.
I wasn't done, by the way, with the stuff. But go ahead, continue.
Oh yeah, but like this movie is just like a very solid like 7 out of 10. I'm on the verge to 8 out of 10. I still have to think about it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a very positive, solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah. The
like even 7.5 probably. Like
yeah. Before I give my score, I do want to say a couple other things here. Just because, hey, I'm an asshole. I'm not done ragging on the movie, of course. And I'm not ragging. These are just things that I saw. But look, we have those U.S. military characters, and they accompany Joshua, but they aren't critical, so they're not developed, and then they get killed off quickly. Boom, bam, done. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I will say that I think the relationship, yeah, it's core, but it weighs down the story to me in the end. Like, I feel like if she wasn't, especially if she wasn't seen visually alive, like in the beginning of the movie, and we were just learning to see if he was chasing a ghost, I think that would be much more interesting. I think that, like, that might have been even better paced, because he's constantly like, she's alive, it's like, if you don't see it, but you're like hoping, like, and then you get the reveal later, like, she's alive, it's like,
yeah, I don't feel
or she's in critical condition, but she's alive. She's in a vegetative state, of course, but like, she's alive. It's like, that to me is better than, hey, look, here's that character that blew up a couple minutes ago, and now for the rest of the movie, our main character is just lost in the blitz of trying to catch up with this character, trying to find, like, because it feels like he's only on a chase, obviously, to find her, and that's cool, fine, but it just kind of, and the goal is obviously to find her, and then like it's like, could we, like, I don't know, could we lose that? Because I like I like more the journey, but I don't like anything about, like, I understand the relationship, the value of the relationship, you need that in there for some people, but I feel like that if you pulled out especially that she was alive in the beginning of the movie, like the agency tells him, I think that the movie is better.
I don't give a shit about, like, the character of Maya at all, but, like, I do care about Joshua's drive.
Yes.
To look for her and to find her. I mean, I think the movie tries to make you feel somewhat emotional for Maya, but, like, it just doesn't really do anything because...
No.
It's not really...
Because it's so quick. They just, like, yeah, she's pregnant, and he loves her, and then he's a double agent, and they try to leave, and then she blows up, and it's like, okay. And then the rest of the movie, it's like, I gotta get her back. It's like, okay, all right, cool, all right. Like, you know what else is done pretty well? Like, again, I like if you're gonna do that, I like it better in, like, Spider-Verse 1, where it's like MJ and Peter, like, Peter's still impacted by MJ, but it's like you still keep it going. And obviously it's not the same thing, but I like that more when you can mix it in with a different tone instead of it being bogging down the movie, it feels like.
Yeah, same thing for Alfie. I don't really care too much about Alfie herself. I just cared more about the relationship between Joshua and Alfie, because especially, like, you know Joshua lost his child, and it's like, okay, so possibly by the end, like, you know, they'll have a happy ever after, where Joshua is like he doesn't get Maya, but, like, he does get to be, like, the father he always wanted to be.
Yeah.
But no, he has to sacrifice himself so Alfie can live. But, like, I don't really.
Oh, good. Keep it going. We're just gonna keep rolling like this.
Yeah. But I don't really care for, like, Alfie, like solo adventures, or like Alfie's ending by herself. I kind of just want an ending of Alfie and Joshua, in all honesty.
What's interesting is, and I wrote this down, like, the film ends with Alfie, like, being free and Nomad no longer exists, but it doesn't end the war.
Yeah.
So it's not a result, and I understand, like, ooh, maybe they were thinking there's going to be a sequel, but it's called The Creator. I don't think that I don't think they actually planned on a sequel for this, because if they call it The Creator, it doesn't sound like a name where you have a sequel for it. It feels like they were trying to give it the impression that it's wrapped up, but it's not. You know, she's there, but the war still goes, and it could even be more cataclysmic now than ever that Nomad was destroyed. Like, the agency, the U.S. government is still there.
Well,
and
like,
Alfie is still on the other side.
She gets more powerful, I guess, so she probably becomes a god destruction.
Yes, that's why it's like, what is the, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't feel resolved either.
She has a force, except she can turn, she just has the off switch to literally everything.
Yeah, and again, I understand, in the beginning, I did say, like, look, I love that this is just the day in the life of Joseph. And that's basically what you get. You're in the life of Joseph. And so when he ends, it ends. And that's fine, but you're just kind of left with, oh, okay, now the story is still ongoing, kind of, because Alfie exists still. The only thing that I'll say else overall is I do want to bring up, look, the music score. Look, this might want to be Zimmer's most subtle scores. This was bad to me. There was only one song. There was only one defining tune. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Like, there was no defining... There was no real define... I know I just said there's one, but, like, there's no real defining tune that carries through the whole movie. Like, Star Trek has a defining tune in those reboots. Star Wars has a defining tune. Rogue One had a defining tune. Avatar even has key pieces, right? That makes it more immersive. Like, in the moment, you can get behind it. And, like, you know, when they're in a vehicle, like, you feel it. And it's like... And the music swells and things happen. There's nothing. And there was, like, some classical music, and there was one track that felt like it was, like, maybe made by AI, because it was, like, there were different synths going on. But there was nothing that, like, that repetitively came back as, like, here's a core. Here's a familiar thing. Here's something that can stand out to you, where you can feel this movie's flow. No, it just was, like, next. And...
This feels like like we said, it feels like a series that probably would have led into a season 2.
Yeah.
Like, the movie could have ended with to be continued and it wouldn't feel out of place.
Nah, yeah, 100%. And again, I to me, it's still one of my like, when we're talking about, like, okay, this doesn't do anything amazing story-wise. It rushes a lot of things. Are you good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you... Gotcha. It does a lot of things story-wise that are rushed and are executed in way better fashion elsewhere. It's like, okay, my preference, my score for this movie is split between how much I love the inventiveness and how much it's just generic. Because it's just generic and mid in a lot of places, but then it's inventive in the sci-fi elements. It is so awesome to see. Like, I don't know if I would watch this because it's 20th Century Fox, or Studios, so it's probably going to be on Hulu or Disney at some point in the future, or rather soon, since its box office isn't doing well. But its story, and that's what's weird though, is like Avatar's story is also bland, and that made $1 billion plus. This story is simple, and we've seen it a million times, and it worked with Logan, and it worked with Last of Us, and it worked with so many shows and movies have done this story. But, like, it just feels not out of place for this type of story. It just feels like there's so many other stories maybe that you could focus on in this world that would have fit better in this universe, that you're left thinking, man, like, The Creator isn't a terrible movie at all. It's just like...
I feel the same way for, like, that's why I gave the score I gave it. I feel the same way for it. I feel with, like, both the Avatar movies where, like, it's a fun show. It's a fun, entertaining, like, movie. Has some good set pieces. Has some creative, like, world building. But, like, the movie as a whole, after getting up from it, it doesn't leave much of an impact. There wasn't a moment that would, like, really sticks out. I'm like, whoa! I want to see that from more movies. It's like,
Really? Because I mean, there's so many sci-fi moments where I'm like, wow, that's something that I hope other movies do, or I hope that this is so visually cool. Like, why not other? Like, I thought that's. I mean, you said that earlier, at least.
Oh, I see. I like the inspiration. I like the video game curses and stuff, but like, it's not.
It's not something that you necessarily really were.
It's not anything that really wowed me. I just thought it was really cool to see, and I really liked that I saw it. It's not that I dislike it, or it doesn't like. Nothing in this movie feels like it's missing. It's just more of like a. I mean, because also I didn't really have much expectations for this movie. Yeah. Because this is like a new concept and stuff.
So it's like, an original. It's one of the few big original movies of the year.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Because when I think of my top 10 is all sequels or established properties.
That's Hollywood, baby.
That's Hollywood. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think
the most original IP from IPs you're gonna get is from books. Most video games, most movies, most shows.
But even then, that's an established thing. If you're making a movie based book, that's Hunger Games is not an original.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about movies. I'm just talking about media in general.
Oh, okay.
The most original shit you're gonna get that has an output of original ideas is books.
Yep.
Video games is mostly the best-selling video games is mostly established stuff. Fucking movies is mostly established stuff. TV shows mostly established stuff. Just reboots. Mm-hmm. That's our culture. We're just like regurgitating old content now.
Yeah, man. I think I'm just I had a point I was going to say, and now I kind of lost it, but I think the creator is... Here's what I'll do. I think the creator is a I'm going to put it like a B or a C if I'm scoring it, but that means that The Flash is getting an F. Like, I'm literally throwing The Flash, and I'm putting Blue Beetle down a grade.
I've seen some reviews of The Flash that sour my view of that movie. I was like, I kind of feel bad that I like that movie.
Yeah, like because it's not doing much of anything that's like...
I regret that I said I enjoyed it.
Yeah. That's why it's like, this is tough, because again, like when I saw like Across the Spider-Verse, I was like, that's an immediate 10. There's nothing that's like, even though it was sort of this thing that leaves you hanging in the future, it's still a thing where, like, in comparison to what we have in the past few years, or just in general what we've seen, I have to give it a 10. And this, it's like, I want to high score this as much as possible, but it's also just, like, again, if I wanted to see what this movie's trying to go for, I would watch Logan. That's like a 9 right now. That's like, Logan's like a 9 out of 10. It's like a B plus or an A minus. Like, you know, like, it's right up there. Probably like an A for me, actually. But, like, the creator, again, is so generic in the ways that it's doing things. But it's so cool. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
God, like, it's so fucking cool. That, like, I think the logic... Like, I want to see more of this sci-fi stuff.
I want a video game
of this. Sucks. It sucks ass that Paw Patrol made more money than it. It sucks ass. I cannot believe... Like, I'm so I was like, dude, I cannot believe that Paw Patrol... Like, Paw Patrol, are you fucking kidding me? Made more money than this? Like,
I can believe it. Fucking Paw
Patrol.
All the fucking kiddies want Paw Patrol. None of those kiddies want to see the creator.
Well, no, but I just thought, like, you know, it's like, some things you have to go out and see for just the sake of it. You have to go out and see it because you want to get them, you want to push the message home that this is good.
Who knows? Maybe Paw Patrol is a shit. It probably is better than this movie, but, like, I'm never gonna find out because
I saw Super Pets last year. I'm not seeing it. Fuck you.
Because that's not Paw Patrol.
It's not, but
I've never seen the movie, but, like, I'm never going to, so I will never know.
Yep.
But, you know, there's a possibility that new Paw Patrol movie is a fucking shit. It's probably the best movie. It's probably even better than Spider-Verse. But I will never know that because I'm not seeing it. There's a possibility. Who knows?
I saw the trailer. Fuck you, Mark. Yeah, no, we all saw the trailer.
Well, you don't know, man. Maybe there's like good shit outside the trailer. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's probably movie of the year.
By the way, last thing. You know how the missiles like didn't explode? They just landed on the ground. Why them like they still hit hard on the ground?
I feel like they should have exploded.
They still hit hard on the ground. Like that still should have blew some shit up. Like I don't know. I don't believe
that. Looks like it still does. How is nobody killed from that?
Yeah.
It looked like it should like if it didn't explode, it looked like it could have landed on like some buildings or a couple of houses. Like it just somehow landed neatly right between everything.
Yes. Very convenient.
Bullshit.
It should be called The Convenient is what it should be called. Fuck it.
Like, imagine if like a missile was heading towards this neighborhood right now, but it like lands right in the middle of the street, like, and it dodges all the cars too.
Neatly.
Nobody was hurt. No damages were done.
Neatly landed.
Right, neatly.
Yeah.
They even parallel parked.
Yeah,
like,
this is I'm gonna give it a C for convenient. That's where I'm sitting at. I love it so much. I might change we'll see in my top 10. By the way, Mark, start considering your top 10 because I know usually when I'm saying it and then it's like, Mark's like, yeah, I didn't make a list. Fuck you. And it's like, yeah, well, thanks, Mark. So yeah, guys, this has been oh shit, we already did the movie detail.
I mean, alright, so like when it comes to top 10, are we counting only like theatrical movies?
So for ScreenBlast, we're only counting theatrical, and I don't have anything. We don't have enough games that we've played to count them in the top 10.
I'm telling you, that probably leaves out No One Will Save You, which is a movie I still recommend you see.
Didn't No One Will Save You hit theaters first?
No, it was Hulu exclusive. Maybe it did. I don't know. But like it's
okay. You can include. Yes, you can include that, but it's more like ScreenBlast. But we don't have a lot of ScreenBlast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna count it though. It's just it still feels like cheating.
All right.
If it was not, well, like I recommend you go see it though.
All right.
No, so we can talk about it. I think it's good. I think it's creative. I'm not saying it's amazing.
Wait, No One Will Save You is the hand, right?
No.
Oh fuck! You showed me the fucking Jesus. I'm thinking of the other movie.
This fucking idiot.
All right, shut up, guys. This has been the ScreenBlast podcast, reviewing, of course, The Creator. We hope that you enjoyed this, and if you watched all the way, please think about subscribing. Please think about going and checking out our other content. We've got many other podcasts from ScreenBlast, our streaming-focused conversations. We did one on Zone 100. We've done one on Ahsoka. We've done one on what else did we do?
Powerpuff Girls movie.
Well, that's Cartoon Chat, Mark.
Oh.
Thanks for the. So we have also Cartoon Chat. Cartoon Chat is our animated
Stay tuned for our Paw Patrol's Mighty Morphin review coming.
And that's not Cartoon Chat. That would be ScreenBlast.
Yeah, coming
Mark's
tomorrow.
going to be the exclusive reviewer of that, by the way.
Brian's going to see it. He's going to review it tomorrow.
Yep.
It's going to be a 4-hour special.
Could you imagine we spent 4 hours talking about Paw Patrol? What the?
Who knows? Maybe it's that good.
Mark, let me end this thing for fuck's sake.
Logging out, everybody.
No, it's not over. I have to keep fucking Jesus, you ass.
Logging in, everybody.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, all right, not to start back, guys. All right, so you can subscribe. You can check out Cartoon Chat, our cartoon conversation. We did one recently on the Powerpuff Girls movie. We've done one in the past on the '90s series Duckman, the Disney animated movie Atlantis, and of course Pixar's Incredibles. We are just stacking them as they go. And if you're watching this in the past, check out. Or if you're watching this, in the future, we will have a Halloween special. So
spooky.
Go ahead and check that out. We also have the Cowcast, which is our memified conversation, and we have Blasting Turbo Ports, our video game conversation. We did a review of the Direct. We will have conversations in the game realm talking about, of course, Sega Superstars, Mario Wonder, and Spider-Man in the future. So just stay tuned for those. And of course, we will be talking about Killers of the Flower Moon later in October. So we have not too packed of an October for movies, Mark, but November is super packed, so obviously we'll have to talk about.
And stay tuned for Brian's live commentary of Paw Patrol Mighty Pups.
At some point, you know what? Again, you guys have to vote for that on Cartoon Chat in like 2 years. It has to get old. That's what I'm saying. It has to get old, and then maybe we'll vote on it. But there's no goddamn way on purpose.
Fucking vote for Sherlock Gnomes so Brian can finally watch it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Fuck you. Watch fucking Mighty Morphin Power Pups. Paw Patrol. Log it out, everybody. Brian's gonna review it tomorrow. Right now, here you go.